Okay, thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining this live section. We're glad to have you. On behalf of the entire Langigs team, I would like to welcome you to this important section, this wonderful live section where we bring different participants, different individuals to participate, and then also to learn from the speakers that are here. Now, this is Langigs Client Hunt Challenge, which is an initiative of Langigs that has been designed to assist professionals, to assist individuals, to assist freelancers that have been struggling to secure clients for themselves. In this 40 days challenge, we will be exposed to different things, different strategies. We will be exposed to individual speakers that are expert in their individual field that will assist you in learning or expose you to different strategies of client acquisition. Now, we are glad to have you in this session where we'll be having a very important personality that will be taking a very important role, important topic. And we're glad to have you. Now, if you are just joining us, we would like you to share the link and then also remind other participants that are supposed to join this live session that are yet to join. Remind them to join, remind them that the live session has started so that they will also participate in this session. Now, I would also like to apologize for starting late. I know that a lot of you were waiting for us to start on time, which we could not due to some technical issues and then also some issues that are beyond our own control. But we're glad that you have started. Now, I would like to hear from you. We would like to hear from you in the comment section where you're watching us from, and then also your name and your country. That will be very helpful for us to know that yes, some individuals are in the section. So as I said earlier, please remind your colleagues, your friends, your family that are supposed to be in this live session and will not join probably because we did not start on time, so that they will join all learn together. Now, I'm just going to go straight into what we have for the day, since we have not wasted enough time. Then, if you have any question we would like to ask, as usual, please jot down your questions, and then immediately after the section, you can ask your questions. Now, I'd like to introduce our speaker for today. Our speaker for today is Rachel Onoja. Ms. Rachel Onoja, we are glad to have you. Thank you so much for accepting the invitation to be part of this meeting. I'll just read her bio, and then I will introduce, and then she will take over and present. Now, Rachel Onoja is a seasoned tech executive with over a decade of experience designing transformational human capacity and talent development programs across organizations like Chipmungo, where she currently serves as Vice President of Learning and Market Development, Outschool Africa, Andela, and then also European consulates. She has worked closely with high-achieving professionals, helping them gain clarity, increase visibility, and unlock significant career growth, including promotions and 5 to 8x salary increases. On the business side, she has designed and implemented talent development programs for high-impact EdTech companies and led multiple workshops that improve team performance and increased productivity by up to 35%. After experiencing burnout herself, she founded Balance Unleashed, a career and workplace wellness platform focused on helping ambitious professionals and organizations work better, live better, and sustain high performance. The Invention Lab is a direct extension of this work designed to help individuals reset, gain clarity, and intentionally step into their next level with structure, direction, and support. I personally met Rachel, and then I was wowed by her level of expertise and experience and what she has achieved so far. I believe that as many that will be joining this live and then many that will watch it later, you will find her section very helpful and it will be very insightful also. And then I hope that you will learn a lot from her experience and her expertise. Can you help me welcome Rachel? Rachel, you are welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. You are welcome.
Thank you so much, James. Thank you for the invitation. And also thank you so much for having me.
You are welcome.
Okay. Hi everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you're joining us from. As shared, my name is Rachel Onoja. I can just quickly share my screen for just a second. I am an educator and also an aligned performance strategist. I have spent the past couple of years, over a decade, just supporting individuals and businesses to potentially increase their income, potentially increase their revenue, and also just improve themselves as individual. Because I am a strong believer of you can't earn more than what your mind can fathom, right? Like no matter what you do, you could be very skilled, but if you don't know how to, if you can't outthink your current position, you will still stay stuck. I would say your career growth, your business growth, your revenue growth, your income growth would be capped. So my work is mostly around helping individuals stretch their minds, but also helping individuals get to work within a space that is fully aligned with their values, with who they are becoming, and the kind of world they want to see. So that is what it means by Rachel being an aligned performance strategist. I've been in the tech ecosystem, but also the tech ecosystem software for over about 12 years. And early this year, I moved into the deep tech semiconductor industry. Over the past couple of years, I have worked at Andela, which is one of the first talent development industry company on the African continent. Also got to do really impressive work at Decagon, where my work was mainly around supporting individuals who have gone through the Decagon program, say software development program, to land the kind of jobs they want, but also helping them be the kind of employees that companies want to have and keep. Because there are times that people get jobs or they get gigs or they work on projects and nobody wants to refer them for another opportunity. So basically, my work was revolved around empowering, assuring each individual who was being placed at on any project, either for a local or international client, for them to be the best possible talent that this company was working with. Then at Alt School, I got to spend almost 5 years just designing the learning infrastructure of one of the largest, would I say, the largest tech school on the continent, like an online school on the continent, supported over 20,000 learners. And like I mentioned early this year, I pivoted into a new industry where I get to be a beginner again, which has been super fun. But in the grand scheme of things, it has been quite enjoyable for me. So yeah, I'm going to stop sharing my screen because this is meant to be a conversation, or would I say a DIY workshop. I get to share a couple of things and you also get to sort of like, excuse me. You get to share a couple of things and you get to just sit with yourself and check in with yourself, right? I'm not here to talk about things you don't already know. I'm just here to sort of like just help you shift your mind around how you show up as a professional, how you show up as a skilled worker, right? So I have the privilege of sharing on the topic from skilled worker to from skilled professional to strategic professional. Um, I think I would just add that's the title from skilled professional to strategic professional, let me just add a subtitle, building a career that grows with you, not against you. Why do I think this is a very important conversation to have at this time? Because a lot of people right now are going through a certain degree of uncertainty with AI and everything, but also there's a lot of the war happening that's definitely raised, even if it doesn't bother you to a certain degree, there's a part of your subconscious that thinks, what if the world just ends in the next 5 years? Like everything I'm doing right now, does it even make sense? Right? Is it even worth it? Should I keep going? A lot of people are, all of that is sort of like positioning them to somewhat pull away from who they really want to be, and somehow they are doing work that they are getting detached from, and that is now going against them when they go to apply for gigs, when they go to get opportunities, or when they go to apply for job opportunities, right? um when you think of it in that regard, you would see how each individual needs to find a way to, for the next couple of years, where we're going to be in a VUCA experience, like very volatile, uncertain, chaotic, and anxiety-driven world. How do you leverage the skills you currently have into becoming a strategic professional that people, regardless of all the chaos that's happening, still want to connect with you, still want to work with you? So let me start with a question. I know I can't see you, but I know you can see me. So, but think of it as I'm in the room with you, I'm asking you this question, and I'm just, yeah. So, how many of you here would say you are good at what you do? Now, everybody would say, I'm good at what I do, or I think I'm good at what I do. I know I'm good at what I do, or people say I'm good at what I do. It's like all of this narrative comes from a form of a perception. We will talk about perception management later. But now let me ask a better question. How many of you feel secure in what you do? Remember, I mentioned the whole uncertainties. It's possible that yes, you're a freelancer or you're a gig worker, and getting clients is like when you are an employee, there's almost this certainty of at the end of the month, money is going to drop in your account. But as a gig worker, if you don't have clients, then the certainty that money will drop in your account sort of like just keeps diminishing, right? Now, the reason why I asked these two questions, being how many of you would say you're good at what you do and how many of you feel secure in what you do, is because those are two different things. You can be skilled and still feel uncertain. You can be talented and still feel replaceable. And with AI right now, that hundreds and millions of people are losing their job day in, day out, it sort of like makes that even much scarier. These are people who have full-time employment, but then they're losing their jobs. Okay, what about me, who maybe I do gigs? How sure am I that AI is not going to disrupt me? And the reason why it's important to ask these questions is because we were taught to build our career purely on skill. It's like, oh, you just need to be good at this. Think about it. Someone will tell you, oh, this is a better tool to use. Oh, if you speak this way, it could help people understand you better. If you adjust your diction, or if you adjust this, if you adjust that, all of that are skill-based. But the world everybody thinks the word rewards skill, but honestly, the world rewards value. So skills get you in the room, value determines how long you stay and how much you can earn. Across the world, from where New York, London, Nairobi, Kigali, Lagos, Abuja, the same shift is happening. We have more skilled people than we've had in decades. We have more competition. We have more access to tools. We have more visibility because of the internet and how people can come out and say, oh, I do this, and everybody can showcase what they do. But funny enough, we don't necessarily have a lot of clarity. So today is not about becoming more skilled, it's about becoming more strategic. And we're going to do that through three lenses. And this is the work I do with high performers. These are, say, executives. These are business owners. These are creatives who are doing really incredible work. And this is the way I think of it is there are three things you need to gain mastery over. And at this point, for some of you, you have gained mastery over one. One is your craft. That is what you do. The second one is your mind, how you think. And the last one is your soul, who you are becoming. Now, you may think, how does this relate to me becoming a strategic professional? Hang in there, I will explain. So, the idea is most professionals define themselves by their skill. I'm a designer, I'm a translator, I'm a consultant, I'm a developer, I am a plumber. But the market, like I said, doesn't pay for skills, it pays for what those skills produce. Think about someone in Port Harcourt and who is writing code, and someone in San Francisco writing code. They have the same skill. It's even possible that one is more skilled than the other, but there's a different value perception. Why? Because there's context, there's positioning, there's proximity to outcomes. So think of skill as an input and value as the output. So the real question is, what happens because you do what you do? Now, a lot of you might think, okay, yeah, I translate, or I do all of this copywriting, I do this, I do that. And yes, there is an outcome. But do you position yourself as someone who is skilled or as someone who delivers outcome? Because that positioning alone can change the game for how you get the kind of clients you want to work with. So let's bring it a bit closer. Say you are in Kigali or you're in Lagos, you'll find incredibly talented people, but many are still underpaid, not because they lack skill, because they are not positioned to high value problems. Not because there are no problems in Africa, not because there are no problems in your community, but the question is, the value of the problem you're solving in these regions and the value of the problem you're solving if you're in San Francisco or you are in London or you are in Malta, those are going to be entirely different. So when you think about it from the perception of, okay, what kind of clients am I looking for? Where are they? What kind of problems are they trying to solve? How can I position myself as the right person for them to work with? So you get to move from I do XYZ to I solve problems that matter. There's this guy called Simon Sinek. He created this framework called the Golden Circle. The Golden Circle are three circles, just like within each other. The smallest is in the middle, which is why. And then the outer one after the smallest one is how. And then the last one is what. And the whole idea of the Golden Circle is helping individuals figure out why they do what they do. Because each person will tell you that, oh, I'm a software engineer. I'll give you an example with myself. I'm an aligned performance strategist, but before then, I've always been a learning experience designer. And if you ask me why I do what I do, or if you ask me how I do what I do, I'll tell you, oh, I do what I do by doing learning experience design. If you ask me what I do, I will tell you, oh, I design programs that can get people from point zero to hero. If you ask me why I do what I do, it's because I believe that access to quality life should be everyone's right. And because of that, I believe if I can get you from a point where you are not skilled to a point where you are highly skilled and positioned well enough, it's not just about having the skill, positioned well enough, you will be able to earn more money, you'll be able to take care of your family, you'll be able to live a better life. And I feel when you have somewhat of a better life, you would now start to care about real problems because now you've gone up the Maslow pyramid of needs, right? You're no longer at the point where you're just struggling to survive. You're now at the point where you can think of, why does this work this way? And if it works this way, it's not working well. How can I change how it works? And that is you providing or creating a solution to a problem. Now, it doesn't mean that someone who is hustling or doesn't have money cannot solve those problems. They can, but is it really a priority for them? So when you are a skilled worker, you are on, think of it as you are living in survival mode. But when you become a strategic professional, think of it as you're finally in abundance mode where you don't have to care so much about the little problems that you have. Now you are thinking of how can I solve real world problems using the skills I have and learning a couple of things to add on the skill in order to deliver more value in a very unique way based off my own personal experiences and using those experiences as a lens that I see this problem. And it's possible that you could decide that, you know what, I had this problem growing up, and right now I just want to leverage my own skill to solve this problem for people who have the same problem I had when I was growing up. When I was at old school, the CEO Adewale Yusuf always talks about how he started old school because that was the kind of school he needed. He got admission to go study at UI, I think political science also, at UI, and he dropped out the moment he realized that the school system was not going to empower him well enough. And he decided, okay, for the next couple of years, I'm going to find a way to solve for this problem that I had. And eventually he built an alternative school. That is what old school means, an alternative school. And tens of thousands of people have gone through that program, have gone out and transformed their life because he moved from this is the problem I have to how can I solve this problem for more people. He removed himself from the selfish part of it. Despite the skill that he had, he was a gate man when he got admission into school. He was a security guard, but somehow he was able to take that excellence mentality. He would always talk about how every time he would show up at even as a security agent or whatever, he showed up with a certain degree of excellence, right? And that excellence was a skill that he transferred into building and designing a school that was now impacting about 20,000 people. So oftentimes we would think, okay, if I'm going to be a strategic professional who can solve the kind of problems that the world needs, I'm not an entrepreneur. I don't have this, I'm not that, and whatnot. I'm not creative, I'm not this. But the challenge is you are forgetting what you have, right? And you are fixing it within a form of like a timeline. So one exercise I would want us to do right here is this. I want you to write the problem I solve is dash. In that dash, you can write the problem that you solve. Say the problem I solve is translating, the problem I solve is copywriting, the problem I solve is this, whatever it is, you can write it. Now, I need you to refine it, right, to who has this problem and what does it cost them if it's not solved. A lot of people who have this problem could be, oh, an organization that is trying to translate, let's say, research papers from something to something, right? Maybe a particular language to another language, or a company that is trying to improve their sales conversion. And so they need very compelling copies also, right? So the problem I solve is dash. You see, when you said the problem I solve is copywriting, that was a version of the problem. But did you know that the moment you shift it to why does it cost them if it's not solved? When you take your response of what it costs them if it's not solved. Let's say it costs them, they get to lose customers, right? You can replace that transcription or the translation with they lose customers who cannot understand the language barrier, based off a language barrier. The moment you move it from the problem I solve is translation to the problem I solve is ensuring equitable access to information, regardless of one's location or local or primary language. that immediately portrays value. Because now any organization that is looking for someone who would improve accessibility of whatever knowledge they provide or whatever service they provide, they think of you first, like they will think of you first before they look at the person who says the problem I solve is translation. I hope that makes sense. So value is always tied to time, money, risk, and growth. The person who saves a company $1,000 will never be paid like someone who helps generate $100,000. If you are only known for what you do, you will always be compared. If you are known for the results you create, you become the chosen one, which is why you need to replace that what you do, which is a skill. The problem I solve is translation. So the problem I solve is enabling access to equitable knowledge, right? Or decentralizing access to knowledge, regardless of one's primary language. That is more value. People would see more value from that. Now, we also have the part of the mind, right? Because most people can improve their skill, but they will never upgrade their thinking. And somehow they feel the world should give me what I deserve because I've improved my skill. And for some reason, some people, the world may give them what they need. But you see, when people come into the workspace and they say, oh, yeah, I'm working hard, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, but then you're not thinking strategically, you will not be rewarded for it. So a worker will ask, what do I need to do? A strategist would ask, what actually matters? When I work with individuals, the I mentor within businesses, when I'm asked to come speak to employees who are either burnt out, who are struggling to sort of like meet up their quotas and all that, I don't come at it from the perception of, oh, this is what you need to do to become a better person or a better employee or a better uh, founder. No, I come at it with the lens of why does this matter to you? Like this thing that you're doing, like why? Because someone would say, oh yeah, it matters because people are people are suffering from, let's say, oh, cancer, and I'm trying to build solutions that would help detect cancer much faster. People would say this, and all of that. But on a fundamental level, why it matters to someone is one of the most, but I say it's one of the most vulnerable thing they can share with you. And when they do share it, it helps you just know how to solve their problem for them. So when you go into, let's say you are putting up copies or information about the service you offer, you need to be able to connect to why it matters to the person you are trying to sell to. And it could be a bit confusing to, like the kind of clients you're trying to attract sell different things. It's possible, right? But if you now, again, content creators will tell you, oh, you should niche down. If that's what you want to do, sure, you can do that. But another aspect you could explore is you being able to talk about the kind of problem they're having and why it matters that this problem should be solved. It's almost like a reverse psychology thing where you talk about how people who have lost, let's use the cancer analogy again, people who have lost family members due to cancer, there is a part of them that just gets detached from the world because it's like they just saw their loved one go through this very difficult time, and now they've had to grieve the loss of that person because there's almost this, to a certain degree, certainty that this person is not going to make it. So while this person is still alive, they've had to grieve this person's death. And then after this person dies, they are now having to grieve this person's death. That in itself can affect how generations will show up at their places of work. Because this person who is nursing someone who has cancer, their the quality of their work drops. The way they interact in relationships, the way they interact with their husband, maybe they are more agitated. The way their children experience love and kindness from them would have dropped. Or their finances would have gone haywire, and right now they are struggling to make ends meet after the person has died. So it is such a heavy thing on the individuals who are, I say, the people who take care of this or the survivors of the cancer patients. And because you've been able to now talk about it from that lens, the person who is looking for a copywriter, hearing you talk about this from the perspective of you talking about the impact of the work they do, not you going to pitch yourself, the impact of the work they do, and just positioning it in such a way that says, I get why you do what you do. Immediately they think this person is aligned with what I'm doing, whether you're aligned or not. They feel an emotional connection to you. And if they want someone who can translate the knowledge or translate what they are trying to do in very simple ways, in a way that it attracts the right funders, it attracts the right donors or whatever, they would come to you because in their head, this person gets what I'm trying to solve for. Compared to someone else who comes to them and say, oh, I'm a copywriter and I help businesses just get their message across. If it was you, who would you go for? You would think, I want to go with someone who gets what I'm doing, who sees the long-term effect, not just me trying to detect cancer right now. I'm trying to detect cancer right now so that it is treated much faster, so that family members don't have to go through this whole emotional roller coaster, and how that would affect how their children would think of them in the next 5 to 10 years, that, oh, my mom was neglectful, or we had to go through a lot of trouble because we didn't have money because grandma was sick of cancer and all of that. Like, you now get to they get to connect with you. So when you think of how you think about the challenges or the problems that the kind of clients you're trying to work with, they're trying to solve, don't think of it from a perspective of, I just want to provide my skill, pay me, let me be going. No, think of it from the perspective of, how can I deliver a form of transformation for this person in such a way that it shows that I get what they're doing. That would sort of like be a game changer for you. But the only way you can do that is when you are thinking at that level. Not thinking at the level of, I just want to get my own money, but I want to solve a problem that matters. So the question is, when you do the work you do right now, why does it matter to you? Is it because you just want to be a great photographer? Or you just want to be this, you just want to be that? No. What kind of stories are you trying to tell? If someone would write your autobiography in the next 40, 50 years, what should they say about the kind of work you did and why you did it? So if you think about it, a consultant, say in London, could charge $1,000, £1,000 for advice. In Accra, someone might do it for 10 times. Someone might do 10 times the work for less. Why? Because one is selling insight, the other is selling effort. Because a consultant in London might have worked with, let's say, 100 companies, and they have the wealth of experience of 100 companies. But then someone in Accra only had proximity to, let's say, 5 companies. And the crazy thing is they might even get to do more quality work. But because there's a perception from, not necessarily a perception, there is the way the consultant in London would come and explain the impact of this particular company trying to solve a particular problem, they would have taken from their wealth of experience. In their own case, it could be wealth of experience, but in your own case, who maybe you are in where Uganda, somewhere, in your own case, you might not just have a lot of that context. But if you take time to act and think like a normal human being, like just as an empathetic human, you would be able to get insight or internal wisdom that you can leverage to position yourself or reposition yourself as the kind of person who should be paid more. I got a job offer a couple of years back, and they wanted to do amazing stuff, and it made sense, really awesome stuff. But at the time, I just knew that this wasn't right for me. And knowing that it wasn't right for me was because I took time to go look at, oh, they told me this is their strategy, this is what they are going to be doing in the next 5 to 10 years and whatnot. And I could not see how we connect. I sat down and thought about it. I tell people that I'm an overthinker, and it's one of the best qualities I have, regardless of how annoying it is. It allows me to sit and think of the worst case scenarios of anything that could happen. It allows me to think of why this is important to this person and what they do. It allows me to think of the kind of leverage I will have by working on this project. And just looking at it and thinking through it, I can now categorically tell them that, hey, this is not a right project for me, because I have thought through it. I have thought about all of the ways this could go well and all of the ways this could go wrong. Now, it's not about me coming to say, oh, I'm just going to take the job opportunity because it's great. It's about me thinking about all of the ways I could help solve this problem. But the question is it the kind of problem I want to solve for? Because if it's not, then there's no need for me to be there. So strategic professionals are people who understand leverage. They understand systems, they understand tools, they understand network, they understand reputation. Because they now know that, okay, there is a system of doing things. Right now, you have a lot of tools at your disposal. With AI now, I'm sure your work is almost 10 times easier to a certain degree. Maybe you have the right people, or maybe you don't, but you now have the tool that can help you build a network of the right kind of people. Maybe you have a reputation of someone who is great at translating, but do you have the right reputation about someone who would translate the kind of project that anyone anywhere can get context, can leverage context and do really like have a different feeling towards what this person translated? That is the kind of leverage that you need to create as a skilled worker in order to become a strategic professional. And the only way you can think of all of the ways you can create leverage is when you think more than the average skilled worker. That is the only way you can build the kind of leverage you need. Which is why you would find that, okay, how do you improve your thinking? You read more. That's one way you could improve your thinking capacity. How do you improve your thinking? You sit in silence more. I know in a world where we have a lot of distractions, it's so hard for us to just sit down in silence and say, you know what? I am not going to think about anything, right? Or I'm not going to pick up my phone. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to, like, you just sit with yourself and you're like, you know what? I want to think through this problem in such a great way. I want to think about all of the things that are going well. I want to think about all of the ways that, okay, yes, I am skilled at this, but is there a gap I currently have? And how can I translate that gap into an asset? That requires you to sit down and think. And because you now have ChatGPT doing a lot of the heavy lifting, it means you now have more time to think. But funny enough, we have become even more distracted, even with ChatGPT. The truth is, effort has a limit. And effort is what you do when you focus on just your skill. But leverage is what helps you scale, and you only get leverage by outthinking everybody around you. So, my question to you would be, where are you relying too much on effort and not enough on leverage? Where have you positioned yourself as the doer as against the strategic thinker, the person who can think, oh, you are working on a translation project and you are thinking about how if you translate it this way, you could get it done in 5 hours and you're good. And the challenge is that in the next 6 months, they will come back to you and say, oh, there's a context that we might have missed and we want you to add it. But if you allow yourself to spend, even if it's 7 hours on that project, and those extra 2 hours was placed towards strategic thinking as to what are the ways I can improve this translation project? Who are the people who may not get some of the context I'm sharing? What are some of the ways that the kind of context I'm sharing, will it be relatable to someone who is blind, who has never seen anything? Would, say, someone in Romania who wants to listen to what I have translated and have never stepped their foot in Africa, and I'm translating something that is somewhat of an expression of, oh, something in Africa. Is there a way I can add a little more context, a little more, just translate it in a better way that the person in Romania would think, oh, I get it. That is how you build leverage, because what you are doing is you are outthinking what even the person who gave you that project asked you to think of. And now you are solving for a problem they didn't know they have. And by solving that problem, and when they go and they're like, oh, that is true, we didn't think of this. The next time they have a project, you will be the person they reach out to. And all it took you was 2 hours of additional thinking. But it has created a system for you to have a repeat customer or a repeat client, whatever the case may be. Now, you don't just need to be good in this era. You need to be seen, you need to be understood, you need to be remembered. And how do you allow yourself to be seen? Is by the way you think, is by the way you ask questions, is by the way you do things that allow people to remember you. Two people can have the same skill, and one would say, I'm a writer, and another would say, I help founders turn ideas into thought leadership that attracts investors. Who gets paid more? The person who helps founders to attract investors. Because if you tell me you're a writer, I'll be like, okay, yeah, what do you write? Fiction? Or what do you write? Like, it makes me as a client have these extra layers of thinking to sort of like place you somewhere. But the moment you tell me you help founders turn their thought leadership into like you help founders turn ideas into thought leadership that attracts investors, I will immediately know that you are the right person to work with, and I would come and pay you more, because that clarity is what pays. Confusion discounts, it disconnects me from you. I want you to think of your role or your career or the kind of skill that you have. Don't think of it as just a job. Think of it as an asset. And assets have to be built. They have to be positioned. They have to be grown. Think of someone who owns an Airbnb at somewhere in Mount Kilimanjaro, right? Not far from Mount Kilimanjaro, just on the side of it. Do you know how overbooked that Airbnb would be by people who are going to climb the mountain or just go to see the mountain? Now think of someone who they have an Airbnb somewhere in Sambisa Forest. Nobody knows that there's an Airbnb there. Secondly, the positioning is so wrong to the point that I would not want to go and get an Airbnb there. But the Airbnb that is just around Mount Kilimanjaro, it was built to attract the right kind of people. It was positioned to attract the kind of people that will pay, because that Airbnb is like one of maybe 3 or one of 2 there. It means that you can price much higher for it, and people will not ask you because that's the only one there. That is what your positioning does for you. But then the other part is, even after positioning yourself, you need to keep upskilling yourself. And in a world where we have a lot of information that everybody can position themselves as an expert, the only way you position yourself is in how you think. Like, you position yourself better by how you think and outthink everyone around you. So the last part that I want to talk about amongst the 3 things, we've talked about craft, which is what you do. We've talked about mind, how you think about the things you do. The last part is moving you from chasing to becoming, right? That is leveraging your wholeness, yourself, right? This is a part that people don't talk about, and is one part that I love talking about. Sometimes it's hard to get me to shut up about this, because you can improve your skill, you can upgrade your thinking, and still feel stuck. Why? Because of misalignment. Remember when I mentioned how I got a job opportunity and I just knew that this wasn't it for me? It was because I had the skill. That was why they came to give me that job offer. I sat down to think through it, almost to the point where I was like, yeah, this doesn't work for me, because I knew what I really wanted. In my soul, I know the kind of work I want to do. And so, because there was a misalignment, even though, 1, I was skilled enough to do it. 2, I could think through all the ways this could go right, and I could think through all the ways this could go wrong, meaning that if I decide to do it with the kind of thinking capacity I have, I should be able to do an excellent job there. But because my soul just didn't align with it, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to do it, because it would just be a waste of my time and my life. The truth is, you may be a freelancer who feels burnt out because it's like you keep doing everything, but somehow you still feel stuck. You are not burnt out, or you keep writing, you keep translating, you keep doing this, you keep doing that, and somehow sometimes you're like, what's the point? It's because you are misaligned from the work you're doing. Now, there are 3 types of work. There's work that drains you, there's work that sustains you, and there's work that expands you. Strategic, skilled professionals stay within work that drains them and work that sustains them. Strategic professionals learn to move forward, right? Move towards expansive work that expands them. I tell people that every time I was having a conversation with someone on my team yesterday who she was like, I was asking her, 12 months from now, do you think you still want to do this? And she was like, she actually enjoys the work. It's just that she feels at the edge of herself every time. On the edge of herself, you can be on the edge of yourself and it could be a good thing, but you can also be on the edge of yourself and it could be a bad thing. In the sense that you are on the edge of yourself and you're just pushing, because you are constantly on a stretch. When you think of high performance, right? High performance, your NBA All-Stars, all of that, your NBA MVP, your GOATs in football and all of that, all of them, when you think of this season or I think the league, those seasons are structured in such a way that there's time when they are doing hard work. There's time where they are at a strain, whereby they are being stretched. There's time when they come back to doing the hard work, and then there's a time that is being stated for recovery. People who are strategic professionals, they plan for recovery within the time that they get to work, because they know that I'm going to do work that stretches me, but I'm not going to allow myself to keep doing work that stretches me forever. Because the more you stay in a position where you are doing work that stretches you forever, you start to get burnt out fast if you are not recovering fast enough. So There are three traps that you would encounter as an individual who is trying to transition from just being a skilled professional to a strategic professional. There's a comfort trap, staying where you are because it's familiar. Oh, you'd work on general translation projects, but now you feel like you are being drawn towards doing, say, medical translations or medical transcriptions, but you are scared about, oh, what if I get a word wrong? What if I do this wrong? What if you do it? Like, what's the worst that can happen? They will tell you, oh, this is not right. You take that feedback and you improve upon it. I tell people that think of feedback and failure as data. The moment you think of it as data, you would almost disconnect yourself from the hurt that comes from failure. The second trap is the comparison trap, measuring your journey against others, thinking that, oh, this other person, they keep getting clients, they keep doing this, they keep doing that. But what are they doing differently that you are not doing? How have they expanded their mind? How have they expanded their soul? How have they gotten to the point where they know the kind of work they want to do? And even if someone else comes to give them a project that doesn't align with what they are doing, they look at it and they're like, yeah, I'm not going to do it. And those are the kind of people who get paid more because they have positioned themselves in such a way that they provide the value they know they are called to provide. But you are taking everything on. And that is why one person comes to give you a $30 job, you take it. And that person comes to give you a $5 job, you take it. And that person comes to, because you have not positioned yourself to do the kind of work that lights you up. When you do the kind of work that lights you up, you will be able to charge more higher. When I got burnt out, it was because I had gotten to the end of myself. And at that point, I was like, I can't keep working like this. And the moment I took a 3-month sabbatical and, would I say, repositioned myself, the moment I came back, I was now earning 3 times what I was earning before. And at that time, I was already earning well enough. But because I finally got in that position, so right now, if even individuals come to tell me, oh, hey, I want to work with you on this and all of that, I'm able to say no. And I would turn down 5 projects for one that I know aligns properly, and I would charge well for it. And you will not tell me, oh, I can't pay. If you tell me you can't pay, I'm like, sure, no problem, thank you. You've helped me save time. But I'm not going to keep myself and compare myself to someone who is doing 5 projects and they are taking little money and they are burning themselves out, they are stretching themselves too thin. And I'm thinking of, oh, this person is doing all of this. No, I'm thinking of, this is my journey. This is the kind of work I want to do. This is how I want to charge for it. And if anybody else wants to say, oh, you should be charging this way and all of that, I can tell them this is why I charge this way. And even at that point, I would be, you know what, I'm content. Then the last trap is the commoditization trap, reducing yourself to task. You'll find people in Dubai earning more but less fulfilled, and people in Cape Town doing more meaningful work but not earning well enough. Alignment is what helps close that gap, where you move from thinking of your work like a time-boxed thing to you thinking of your work as impact-based, to the point where the more you do a lot of impactful work, the time almost just flows out, but then you also get paid enough for the time you offer, to the point where you set systems, right, that allows you to do multiple things at once and you have more time to rest. Because the more you reduce yourself to task, the more you will charge less. Because you think of it from, oh, if I do 10, I'll be able to charge $50 for the 10, then it will be $500. Or you think about it and you say, you know what, I'm going to deliver really impactful work to this one person. I'm going to charge $1,000 for it because it is work. It is impactful work. It's not just a task. The more you think of it as a task, it's just, I just want to keep ticking the boxes and just move on. So in the next 2 years, someone will ask you, oh, you worked on this project then. And they will ask you, and you can't remember the impact you made on that project. Alignment is what helps you close the gap between you being a skilled professional and getting you to the point where you become a strategic professional. So, as I wrap up, I would like to introduce you to something I call the align loop, right? Align being A is awareness. Where are you right now based off everything I've shared? L is leverage. What can multiply your effort? I is identity. Who do you need to become in order for you to become a strategic professional, not just a skilled worker? G is growth. What must you learn next? Because if you need to expand your mind, it means that you need to read more. You need to look at other tools. You need to talk to other people who are doing impressive work and ask them, how do you do this? And how can I become better at this? Growth is one of the most important things. But I have this friend who has been telling me, oh, he wants to be a designer. He's a designer, and somehow he has been stuck at this level for close to 5 years. And I tell him, bro, you need to explore this. You need to explore that. And he tells you, no, this is the kind of design he wants to do. Meanwhile, the world has moved on from that kind of design. And that kind of person will tell you, I want to earn this much. Until you allow yourself the gift of awareness, allow yourself the gift of growth to understand that, oh, I am missing some things and I need to improve on some things, you would stay stuck. You will remain a skilled professional and not, and people don't, people will pay for skill, but they will overpay for value. And then lastly, N, what is your next move? So let me leave you with this. The world is not short of skilled people. Like the world has a lot of skilled people. You have blue skilled workers, you have white skilled workers, you have freelancers, you have gig workers, you have creatives. It is short of critical thinkers. It is short of aligned individuals. It's short of strategic professionals. So the question is not, am I good enough? The question is, am I positioned in such a way that I am aligned and thinking at the level required for where I want to go, for the kind of projects I want to work on, for the kind of companies, brands I want to support. Because the future does not belong to the most skilled person, it belongs to the most strategic. AI has made that evident right now. And the most aligned people are the kind of people who get the right kind of opportunities. So that's it from me. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Thank you very much for the enlightening session. Mr. James is working with questions from the YouTube and he will be sharing. As soon as he shares them, I will just read them notes for you to provide answers to them. Okay, there's a question here. It says, how can I increase my critical thinking ability? I'm the kind of person that can be easily distracted.
Thank you so much for that question. One of the easiest ways to improve your critical thinking ability is by reading and asking more questions, right? People who think have you ever wondered why someone would answer a question like, no, let's even use ChatGPT as an example. When you use ChatGPT, you and I can use ChatGPT and we would ask it the same question and we will get two different responses. Why? It's a result of what we have been feeding it time and time again. It's a result of the kind of data it has been exposed to, the kind of questions I've asked it, the way I have queried it, the kind of ways I have pushed back on it, the kind of ways that it would give me a response. And I'm like, is this the best you can do? Is because of all of the, say, oh, the context I've given it about my life, about the work I do. And the same thing with yours. Now, the only way I can sort of like ask a lot of these questions is because I have exposed myself a lot to external materials, right? I have read a lot. I started reading when I was too little to be reading. Like I was reading solid books, right? This year, I started this year and I was like, every year, because I stopped reading for a while and I was like, oh, every month, I want to be able to read at least 4 books. And I found a way to pick that back up. Now, I'm not saying you should go and read 4 books. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying go and look for a wealth of knowledge and find a way to consume it. It could be fiction. I tell people that I can tell you how New York smells even without having gone to New York. I can tell you how a place feels because of how I have consumed a lot of knowledge from books. And writers will be descriptive about how this place smells. So because of that, I can now be able to sort of like be more descriptive. I can, when a question pops up, I will now go into my brain and think of, oh, what are the ways I could answer this question the best possible way? And my brain will sort of like give me, oh, this is a better way, this is a better way. And sometimes when I'm even answering questions, you can almost hear me thinking through the question while I'm answering the question. But you cannot become a critical thinker without having access to data. And you get that data by consuming information. That is why my ChatGPT will give me a different response to what your ChatGPT will give you. And that is based off the knowledge that you have poured into. It's based off the knowledge I have poured into it. The other part is asking questions. You need to ask questions a lot. When someone says something, you ask why. I feel like people would say, oh, their most used app is, I don't know, maybe Instagram, WhatsApp, and whatnot. My most used app is Google or Gemini, where I would come and I would sit down and I would hear a word in a movie and I'll be like, what's that word? I'll go and type to check. I'm not just going to overlook it and keep it moving. I'll go and check. I may not use that word right now, but one day there's a context that will come up with that word and I will immediately think, oh, that is the word. And if the context doesn't align, the current context doesn't align with the definition I have in my head, I will go back to check, okay, are there other contexts or other connotations or other meanings of this word that I need to ascribe to this particular context that is being presented to me? But that only happens when you ask questions. I was having a conversation with, I think, our chief of staff yesterday, and she was talking about how there's a particular person in the company who, the person is almost at the door because the CEO feels like this person doesn't ask questions. Like my CEO is someone who doesn't like stupid questions, but he will tell you better to ask questions than sit with a problem for 7 days when I can give you an answer to it in 5 minutes. So the only way you can gain access to all of those knowledge is by asking questions, right? Again, some people would know that, oh, like in the Bible, we had Daniel, right? And Daniel said he became that wise, that knowledgeable because he applied himself to reading. He applied himself to questioning things, which is why the king would say, oh, I'm going to kill everybody. And he would come and say, oh, can you give me a moment? That is a question. Let me go with my guys to go figure this out. They went with a level of curiosity, came back with a solution that saved a ton of people. Curiosity is one of the most important skills that anyone can have. So read a lot or listen to, if you are someone who cannot sit down and read a book or you can't, there are audiobooks, listen to them on YouTube. almost every book that is out there, there's a YouTube narration of it, audio narration of it on YouTube. So listen to those books. I hope that answered the question. I see another question, which is more important for career growth, expertise, visibility, or relationships? I'm not going to lie to you, you need all three. Like every single one is important. Because if you have expertise without visibility, you won't be able to charge as well as you want. But then there are people who have expertise and relationship. I would say if you can't have all three, have at least two of the three that are listed: expertise, visibility, or relationship. Have at least two. If you have expertise and visibility, it helps you sort of like just get the kind of opportunities you want. People know you are the go-to person for this. If you have relationships, those people would refer you for opportunities. Expertise you must have. That one is a standard. So the question is, if you're someone who doesn't want to be online like that, it's fine. Connect with people. Real connection, not the networking that everybody's just, oh, I want to be in your network and all of that. And then you are not providing any value. You are just there, and yeah, that doesn't work, right? So provide the kind of value that the kind of value that people trust you for. And so when someone comes to have a conversation and whatnot, when an opportunity pops up, this person would be like, yeah, you should talk to this person. Every single role I have filled in my career over the past 10 years, I did not apply for them. I got them because someone mentioned Rachel, that, oh, Rachel is good at this. And that was how I got the opportunities. So you need to choose expertise, you need to have it. But between visibility and relationship, you need to have one. If you don't want, but ideally, you should have all three. But I understand people who want to be out of the limelight. It's completely okay. There are people who are doing incredible stuff that we don't know them. I'm hoping that one day in this life, I would find a way to clean off all of my data online and become the person who nobody knows. I don't know how that's going to be possible, but again, it's about the season you are in. There's a season you could be in where visibility is important to you. There's a season you'll be in that relationship is more important to you. And funny enough, there's a season you will get to that expertise is not really even what you should care so much about, because you have the relationships and you can connect those people to someone who has the expertise. And by connecting them, you get a cut of whatever that other person is getting paid. So you are now being paid off your relationships, not your expertise. But then your relationship building skill is also an expertise that you might have grown in one way or another. So I would say you need all three, but if you can't have all three, focus on expertise and one of the other two, either visibility or relationship. Hope that answers your question. How does personal branding contribute to client acquisition? My friend would always tell me to fake it until I make it. So that's a very interesting take, the whole fake it till you make it. I feel like we're now in a world where a lot of people fake it, right? The question is, the problem is this: people can sense your energy. That's one of the things that a lot of people don't realize. The real ones can sense when you are faking it. Now, there's also the part where you could fake it well enough to the point where you get an opportunity and you go in and you do well, and then that thing just blows you up. But then it is essential that if you choose to fake it till you make it, when you finally fake it enough for someone to recognize you, do not mess it up. Because if you mess it up with just that one person can destroy all of your faking. Now, the other part is this: you need to be visible. You need to build a personal brand, yes. But are you going to build a personal brand at the expense of who you really are, or the kind of person you want to position yourself as? I tell people that I will not build a personal brand outside and then at home, you see that my life at home is completely different from what I portray outside. because I want to be able to sleep better at night, which is why if I come and tell you that, oh, I would rather not post and just like, I'd rather not post than post and I'm saying absolute rubbish. So if you are trying to figure out how to do personal branding in such a way that it's, would I say, the best, you are not losing yourself. I think that is what you are trying to avoid. You're trying to do personal branding in such a way that you don't lose yourself. I would say you should go check out, there's this thing called brand archetypes, right? So the thing with brand archetypes is it helps you know what your brand archetype is. Now, a lot of people position themselves, let me see if I can share my screen. We have different brand archetypes. Yeah, let me just quickly share my screen. We have different brand archetypes such that if you figure out what your brand, a lot of times people would say, well, I don't like posting and all of that. You like posting, you just don't know your brand archetype. That is why you don't like posting. And the moment you figure out your brand archetype, you will now be able to post appropriately. Yes, let's see. Leveraging Google Lens. Yeah. Hope you can see my screen. So the brand archetypes, there's a sage, right? The sage is, I think I was using this. No. Did I press? Yeah. Go back. So there's the sage. The sage is BBC. They are sharing information that other people don't have. The innocent, Dove just gives this, oh yeah, this is just all cool and whatnot. The hero is the one who inspires you to do all of those things that you want to do. The regular guy is Home Depot, where, oh, they are like, yeah, if you come to this place, you will get the opportunity you need, or what you will get the tools you need and whatnot. Anything you want as a regular human, you will get it there. The caregiver, digital health, the creator, think different, because that is what Nike's, what's it called, Apple's, that's what Apple's, would I say, motto is. They are being, their brand is true to who they are positioning themselves as, right? Think different. We have REI, the Explorer. This is, I'm sure, an adventure platform or a real estate company that is saying, oh, get houses in one way, play in the bush or whatever, be the explorer of that place. The Rebel, Virgin Atlantic. The Lover, Godiva Chocolate. The Ruler, Rolex. Like, everybody knows that Rolex is like the king of watches. Well, maybe not. There's Patel and all that, right? But at least they position their brand as, oh yeah, we are the elite. The Jester, Gecko, right? The Magician, where you have Disney, they make you just see the world in such a crazy way that on a normal day your mind will not think of it. All of these are brand archetypes. The moment you are able to go, you can take, there's something called a brand archetype test. Take that test. You will be able to figure out at least 3 of your top archetypes. And the day you decide to have conversations with people, you will realize that the moment you align the kind of conversations you have to your own brand archetype that doesn't go against you, you will have a personal brand that people would trust. Even you, when you post, you'll be like, yeah, I love what I'm posting. When I figured out, there was a time I would hate writing. I write a lot on LinkedIn, well, as much as I need to. And when I write on LinkedIn, I'm always like, oh yeah, I need to talk about things. There was a time someone was like, oh, you need to talk about the work you are doing, the like in tech and all of that. And I'm like, I struggled to do it because it felt out of sync with who I am. But when it comes to, oh, I worked on this project and this was what I learned, this was the way, these were the ways we failed, these were the ways we did well, this was the impact of the work we did. That is me coming from a sage narrative, while also being an explorer who says that, oh, we tried these different things and it didn't work. Leveraging those two brands or those two archetypes, I'm able to tell my story in such a natural way. And the people who read it will be like, yeah, you do important work. The people who don't align with my brand archetype, they will see it and just be like, she's just one more person. But the people I need to connect with, they will see it and they will connect with, because those are the people who are looking for the sage. Those are the people who are looking for someone who dares them to do really awesome work. And because that is my brand archetype, it aligns with who I am at the core, because I don't know how to keep knowledge that I think everybody should know. So by positioning myself, creating my personal brand around that brand archetype, I attract the kind of opportunities I want. I get the kind of job opportunities, the kind of people just coming to say, oh, Rachel, can you coach me? Oh, Rachel, can you do this? Can you do that? Because I stayed true to myself. So did I fake it? Not necessarily. It was me taking all of the stories of real things I did and leveraging my storytelling based off my brand archetype to share those things. And I built a personal brand to the point that now I run away from LinkedIn. I will just come and post once in maybe another 6 to 8 weeks. And the next time I come and post, I will get great engagement. I will get new followers and whatnot. So it helps with client acquisition, yes, but I don't want you to focus on faking it till you make it. I would prefer you focus on building a brand that allows you to be your most authentic self. And you would see that the right kind of clients that you want would come to you. Remember what I said about positioning yourself needs to be about alignment, not just positioning yourself randomly. Great. Another question. Thank you, Rachel, for the teaching. I'm presently feeling burnt out too, and I was glad when you said something about it. Can you advise me what to do? So, the thing with when people get burnt out, it's such an interesting thing. And I would say, I'm sorry you feel burnt out, but congratulations that you feel burnt out. Why? Because burnout is such a special thing. It means that you have poured all that this version of you can pour out. But now there's a new version of you that you need to step into. And until you let go of this version of yourself, there's almost no way for you to sort of like step into this greater version of yourself. You have to find a way to let go of this version of yourself. You have to create time to do almost like an audit of your life. What are some things, what are some decisions you've made based off people's expectations that no longer aligns with who you are right now? What are some opportunities you've taken on that honestly you shouldn't have? What are some ways you've overexerted yourself? What are some ways that you've become the most reliable person? You've become the one who says, oh, I will do it, I will do it, I will do it. And now you have nothing to give anymore. What are those ways that you have turned into a proper people pleaser? That you've forgotten how to do things just because you enjoy it? You need to sit back and allow yourself to relearn what you enjoy doing, what you even want to do. It's possible that what you do right now or what you get to do on the other end, of you getting burnt out, because the idea of being burnt out is that there's a wall and you need to break through it. And the moment you break through it, I promise you, your mind will be opened, your life would be changed in such crazy ways. That is why I said congratulations on being burnt out, because I feel it's one of the most special things that anyone can go through. So when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, it's about you just taking a step back. If you can afford it, if you can take a 1 month break, if you can take a 3 months break, if you can take a 6 months break. Some people take 1 year break after getting burnt out to just learn about themselves, to just sit still with themselves. I'm happy to have a conversation with you, to just see how, again, you can, how do you connect with me? Just reach out to me on Rachel Onoja. Please mind the spelling on LinkedIn, or onoja.rachel on Instagram, and just let me know that you were the one who asked the question about burnout. I'm happy to sort of like just schedule a quick chat with you and see how to sort of like just help you transition properly without losing, because I know sometimes when people get burnt out and you tell them, oh, they need to take a step back, they start thinking, oh my God, all of the things I've built, what of the clients that will not be able to reach me when I'm out of work and all of that. Yeah, don't worry. The work I do, I try to talk to people in such a way that I help them transition without losing themselves and without losing financial stability. So yeah, that would be my quick advice, but you need to take a step back and relearn you outside what everybody is doing. Yeah. Okay, yeah. James just said the link to my LinkedIn and Instagram will be added to the video description. So you can just take that from there. I hope that answers the question. Okay. Someone is asking, my current job doesn't seem to be paying my bills. I'm a teacher. That is my passion, but it isn't paying well. How can I scale or switch for a better pay? My dear, I promise you, congrats. I'm glad that you're a teacher. Like, I love teachers because I feel it's a noble profession. I think the challenge right now is it's possible that you are just teaching at a local level. You need to start teaching at a global level. You need to start teaching in places where you are no longer exchanging time for money. So you just positioning yourself as a teacher who can empower more people, right? Now, it's possible that you already have, maybe you are teaching online, but you're only teaching, let's say, 5 people, and you're teaching each person, like you do 1 hour for this person, 1 hour for this person, 1 hour for this person, and that is not going to, I promise you, you won't get by with that. You need to find a way to structure your teaching model into almost like a cohort level, or you find a platform. Some people use Google Classroom, right? And they sort of like get students from all over the world to sign on their platform and all of that, right? So you need to just leverage ChatGPT, my dear. Leverage ChatGPT. Ask it, work with me as a revenue strategist. Tell ChatGPT to step into the position of a revenue strategist, and you tell it, I'm a teacher, I have XYZ years of experience, I teach at this level. If maybe you teach on, let's say, the British curriculum or US curriculum or whatever, specify it and tell it that, oh, you enjoy teaching, let's say maybe it's physics, or you enjoy this. You can do this, but you enjoy this better. And you want to increase your earning capacity. Can it help you increase your earning capacity? Let it give you a 90 days plan towards increasing your earning capacity. This is why the truth is AI is a tool that helps you do more and more. It's just that people don't know how to leverage it so much. So once it gives you that 90 days plan, tell it to give you a realistic 90-day plan, and tell it, oh, maybe you are popular, or maybe you use Facebook more, or you use WhatsApp more. How can it help you reach the kind of people who can pay you for the work you do, right? It could tell you, oh, you need to start with lesson in your local community. Maybe you already do lesson, but maybe you do lesson for, again, a few people one-on-one. You need to find a way to do a cohort model so that you can sort of like, you need to scale basically. And scaling means going online, going digital in one way or another. That is what you can do. But leverage ChatGPT, and I'm sure it would help you. It will give you a 90 days execution plan to help you improve your pay. You can also leverage Google Classroom, right? Ask it for free tools that you can use to do this, so that by the time you're using free tools, then later you can now say, oh, I want to switch to paid tools, so that by then you have money enough to say, oh, you are using premium services to scale your teaching services. I hope that answers your question, and wishing you all the best with that. Rooting for you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Rachel. We really appreciate you. We are glad that you joined this meeting. I believe that a lot of our participants have gotten a lot of value from your section. We really appreciate you, and
Thank you.
we're wishing you the best in your career. And we
Thank
also
you.
hope that next, when we call you to share your knowledge with our community, you will also show up, and then you
Absolutely.
will also deliver value to them, just as you did now. Thank you so much. We really appreciate. And personally, I learned a lot from your section. I was following through the YouTube channel, so I really learned a lot, and I believe that it was really a very good experience. And there are a lot of things that immediately I will start implementing, because the one thing I love doing personally is to implement what I have learned beyond just learning and hearing. I think implementation is also very important, and I will do that immediately. Thank you so much. To all
Thank
our
you so much.
participants, if you have any question, please you can reach out to Rachel. We will drop the link to her LinkedIn account and then also her Instagram account. You can reach out to her. Trust me, she have a lot to offer. I believe that the time we give her is not enough for her to express herself and then also to present all that she wants to present. So you can reach out to her and then consult her, and I believe that she will give you value for whatever it is that you will be requesting from her. So the link will be there. Those that will also be watching the video later, please kindly reach out to her, and then you can trust her to give you the best. Thank you so much. I think this is where we will end it all. So till we come again your way, I think our next live session will be on Saturday, where we'll be having another speaker that will be bringing a lot of experience. Abuzit will be bringing a lot of experience on that day. I would like you to also join, connect, so that you will learn from his own section also. Now, learning is a continuous process which we must continually do, and then wherever we stop learning, our growth will stop there. Thank you so much for joining this Langigs and Client Hunt Challenge. We will ask you to all do your assignment, all the participants. Your assignment will be dropped in the group in our group chat on WhatsApp. Please do your assignment. And if you are just coming across this video, you can go to langigs.com/challenge and register, and then you can also follow the challenge. So tomorrow's challenge also will be dropped in the group. I will encourage every one of you to follow it diligently so that your growth process will not be stopped. Thank you so much. Till we come again your way. From the Langigs team, we're saying bye.